So today I'm going to rebuild a 6-liter Powerstroke injector. There's O-rings on the outside, which on the body of the injector, which are easy to get, and there's one on the plug that goes from the rocker box outside to the external harness outside the heads. And then there is one other seal that's on the inside of the injector, where the W pipe stands go into it. And there's a little C-clip. It's kind of once you get like five or four of them done, you have a feel for it. This is going to show you guys just kind of the trick I was using. I tried a bunch of different methods to try to get one out, and this is the best way that I've found to get them. And then if you're doing it with one person, it's probably going to be yeah, you're going to want to use probably this method. So right here we have the injector, and it has the two O-rings, the O-ring for the rocker box cover, and then there's an O-ring right in there. You probably can't see it. It's a little black one. You'll see it when I pull it out, but yeah, that one's easy to get out, but there's the retaining clip right on the top. You probably can't see it on that lip, and it is a pain. It's a pain to get the feel to get out. And then I have some brake cleaner stuff to clean it up. This is the seal kit that I ordered, the Alliant Power seal kit. It comes with the copper washer, all the O-rings that you need, and yeah, they're pretty cheap. If you need to do O-rings, if you have a leaking injector leaking oil or not firing, get this kit. You could do it. They're not supposed to be serviceable, but they are. And here's that little snap ring I was talking about. Little pain in the ass right there. So yeah, we'll see what happens with this, and go from there. Okay, so I think I have enough light right here. Moving O-rings, get a little hook. You just get up under them like that. Don't really have to worry about them. And then just pull them around. Get that one off. There's these two on here. Get them off. And then I get a little thin flat head, and you kind of have to work this washer, this copper washer out, because it's kind of a tight fit. And it comes right off once it's off that ridge. And then there's the one inside. I kind of just get under it right here and get them out. So pull that one out, and those are the ones that usually cause your injectors not to fire. I also replace the ones in the standpipe or in the W pipes, but yeah, these are usually the main culprit. And then you can now see that snap ring in there. That snap ring is a pain, but the trick I found is you kind of push this. There's a little guide in there, and you push that all the way down, so you get a bigger flathead. There's a little ridge in there. You probably could see it right here, and then you just kind of put one edge of the flathead in it, and I always try to go in like that, and see how it came out of the groove. and then you just work it around, and you just keep working it on that groove. Pop back in. So you just stick your flathead tip in there and go in like that. So you're using the groove to guide the snap ring out all the way around, and you kind of just push it down and then just keep going. And once you get to like right here where it's just like still in there, you could come up with your flathead and pull her out, and then that doesn't damage that snap ring. So if you accidentally try to put one in and you shoot it out of the new kit, you'll have a good snap ring, unlike some of the other. I kind of looked up some videos to try to figure out how to do this, and yeah, the people were just like smashing these snap rings out of here, and if they lost one, they're probably kind of screwed. So yeah, you can see how that's not bent at all. It's still good. If you don't have to, I wouldn't reuse it. And then I usually give these a good cleaning with some brake cleaner. I clean the inside of them if I still have some brake cleaner left. Get all the crap out of there, and then there's the little guide that goes in there. So don't lose this. You don't get another one of those. So just put that in off to the side. Make sure you get like a new. You're gonna clean out the inside of the injector bore. So you want to get a new rag for that. A bunch of stuff in the inside of there. You just kind of stuff it in there is what I do. And spin it and see how it's all nice and shiny in there and clean. Doesn't have a bunch of the old crappy oil. There's some still right there, but yeah, it cleans up pretty nice. There you go. Yeah, you can see that's all nice and clean in there. And then I clean the body of the injector. Just kind of just to kind of get all the old crud off of it, because they've been kind of in there. You have the old seal stuff on there, and you want to get as much of the crap as you can out of it, and then come around like doing the O-ring grooves with the towel right in there. Kind of make them all nice and cleaned up again. So when you put them in there, they're not all a bunch of crud on them, and you can kind of see what you're working with. Okay, so yeah, that's that. The injector's cleaned. Then here's the little top piece that holds the O-ring in for the W pipe. Top of the injector O-ring holds that in, and now we can kind of look at our kit. I don't know if most people do, but I use some assembly lube on the O-rings. The first one I do is the copper washer. Here's the whole kit. There we go. So first thing I do is stick the copper washer in, and you just slide it in. I usually just use both my fingernails, or just one, or just whatever, to kind of work it down right here, and then there you go. So that's in there. And then the next one I do is the inside O-ring right here for the injector, and here's the new one. I squirt some assembly lube on here if I have any left. There we go. A little bit too much, but whatever. Okay, squirt some assembly lube on there. I push it about a little bit, like halfway down, not all the way seated, and then this goes in next. Make sure that the cone part is facing up like that, and then you can push the piece of the injector the rest of the way. I usually rotate it when I push it just to make sure it gets in there evenly. Make sure she gets in there evenly. See how it's nice and even? Okay, the next trick, not really a trick, but this is where you can lose a snap ring. You stick it in and have one edge nice and in there. Then I usually put my thumb on there and then just work this other edge down in. It's a pain sometimes, as you can see, like that. You want to make sure it's all the way in or that thing will pop out. So it's in there. New O-ring, the cone facing up, and then the new snap ring. So that's like the biggest deal, the hardest thing. And then now I'll put the rocker box O-ring on, lube it up. Actually, I never really cleaned the plug off, so I'll move these O-rings so I don't get them all a bunch of brake cleaner on them. Like that. Get them all kind of wiped off, all the big crud, because this end kind of just sits out in the elements, and you don't want any of that on your O-ring. A little bit's not a big deal, but it's better to have it nice and clean. Clean that up. Get that little paper towel out of there. Okay, here's a new O-ring. Lube it up so it doesn't rip. Slide it on there. I use a small flathead to kind of pop it over. Use your fingers and you just kind of work your way around it like so. Kind of moving it around so gets all in there nice and even. Yeah, once you get over those two ridges, it's pretty much just kind of push it over like so, and it should just slide in, and you just kind of roll it in so you don't, make sure you don't tear it. So that's pretty much that. So you have 3 of the main things done. And I always do the bottom white O-ring first, because then when you slide the black O-ring, it just makes it a little bit easier. You'll see after doing the first one, after trying to get that C-clip out, you're going to be like, oh man, try to make this as simple as possible. So you just kind of use your fingernails. If you have any left, and roll it over that lip into the groove, and you get your black O-ring, the larger one, and slide that baby down, and then see, then it just slides right over that groove. You just keep going down and rolling right in there. Look at that. Look at her. So now you have a nice lubed injector. I'd recommend putting some kind of lubrication oil, assembly lube, on the O-rings, so when you bolt it down into the head, which I'll show you, it won't tear the O-rings. The biggest thing is getting everything in without tearing the O-rings, and not making sure you torque it right. So got that done. I'm going to clean this little piece up because it's all crappy looking, and it looks like it has some shit on it. So clean this baby up, get in here, polish this turd. So now that's all nice and clean. This just goes in like that. You just line up that groove, and I put them all in as one assembly. This one I'm doing with the rocker box on, but the other ones I did with it off. So this one you're kind of probably gonna have to finesse in there, and I'll show you that. So now I apply some assembly lube to the inside of that, wipe it around the that bore, and then come in here and drop the injector down nice and easy. You want to make sure you don't push it in. Don't push the injector in. I got a longer Torx. The Torx is a T40, and I just hand tighten them in at first, because you want to make sure the O-rings don't tear, and this is a good way, because you know if you're hand tightening, it's going in nice and smooth, and hand tighten it to there. Then the next step is to torque it. These torque to 25 foot-pounds. So we're going to dial ourselves in at 25 foot-pounds. $25 foot-pounds. I think it was like 26, but I like 25. Use it at your own risk. This is not like a really heavy duty thing. See, dialed in 25 foot-pounds, and just kind of go, kind of feel for it, so you don't strip a bolt hole or anything, and just go down. Now you're making sure that copper washer is nice and seated, and there we go. It's torqued, and we have our second head done. So now both heads are complete, and there's nothing really to worry about on them.